Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 NFL Super Wild Card recap and pregame show because we got a couple games from yesterday to recap for you, and one that ended moments ago today. And we'll get to all that in just a moment. But first, here is today's Scott's Sports 101 NFL Super Wildcard trivia question for tonight's game, the Bucks and Eagles. It's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers trivia question. The Bucks played in only one tie game in the 20th century. Who was it against? I will have the answer later in the podcast. Um, we're going to go over the two from yesterday. We have had quite a few shocking upsets, excuse me, over the NFL Super Wild Card weekend, and one game that just ended moments ago. And so, first of all, the Green Bay Packers beat the Dallas Cowboys 48-32, and boy, this was a game you really thought Dallas would win by playing at home, but that was not the case. Aaron Jones grew up idolizing Emmitt Smith and the Dallas Cowboys. The Green Bay running back found a new and most painful way to torment the all-time rushing leader's former team. Jones ran for 3 touchdowns. Jordan Love threw for 3 more in his postseason debut. Darnell Savage returned an interception, 64 yards for a score, and the Packers handed the Cowboys their first home loss since the 2022 opener in a 42-32 wild card stunner on Sunday. This was my dad's team. Jones, who shared a moment with Smith before the game, and now has 488 yards in 4 career games against the Cowboys, said of his late father, "You always want to be like your father." So that's how it became my team. Dallas was a special place to me, so it's a full circle moment. It feels like home, even against a team that had won 16 consecutive home games. Green Bay, who's now 10-8 on the season, will visit top-seeded San Francisco in the divisional round next weekend. Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions before 3 mostly empty touchdown passes. Another playoff flop for him. The number 2 seed Cowboys, who ended 12-6 on the season, who won 12-6 on the season. Their first home loss for the Cowboys since now retired Tom Brady and Tampa Bay beat them 16 months ago was also the most points the franchise has allowed in a postseason game. The previous high was 38. The Cowboys, who haven't reached an NFC Championship game since the most recent of their 5 Super Bowl titles 28 years ago, didn't trail by more than 8 points at AT&T Stadium this season before falling behind 27-0 in the first half. The loss will raise questions about the future of Dallas head coach Mike McCarthy after the Cowboys lost their playoff opener at home for the second time in 3 postseasons under the former Green Bay coach. Dallas was the first team to win at least 12 games in 3 consecutive playoff seasons without making a conference title game. The Cowboys surged to the NFC East title in the final 2 weeks and had a chance to be home at least twice this postseason. Instead, they head into a suddenly uncertain offseason. Just shocked, honestly, Prescott said from the beginning of the game. We got beat. There's no which way around it. There is no way to sugarcoat it. Shock. Uh, Romeo Dubs had a career high 151 yards receiving a week after being hospitalized with a chest injury as the Packers rolled after finishing the regular season 6-2 to grab the NFC's final playoff spot. We came in here with a mindset of we're going to play. We were going to dominate, excuse me, Love said. A lot of people were counting us out, and we didn't care about that. The Packers had never lost in 6 trips to AT&T Stadium, including the Super Bowl over Pittsburgh during the 2010 season, they now have two playoff victories over the Cowboys, with Aaron Rodgers led a 34-31 divisional win when Dallas was the NFC's top seed in 2016, Prescott's rookie year. Those Packers let a 21 to 3 lead slip away. These Packers, with four-time MVP successor, left little doubt with a 48 to 16 fourth quarter lead before two late Dallas TDs. We knew it would take time, said Jones, who was a high school and college standout in the far west Texas city of El Paso. You would hear me during the season and other players say, we were right there, we were right there, we were right there. We've been able to get over that hump. Facing the NFL's fifth best defense, Green Bay matched its Super Bowl winning team from 2010 for the most points in a playoff game. That was also on the road, a 48 to 21 victory at top seeded Atlanta in the divisional round. Dubs, who returned the Green Bay sideline after his hospital trip before the end of last season's 17 to 9 home victory over Chicago that secured a playoff spot, had 102 yards at halftime. It was 7 more than the second year player's previous best. First half catches of 22, 26, and 39 yards helped get Love going, and the fourth year QB finished 16 of 21 for 272 yards as the Packers scored touchdowns on 6 of their first 7 offensive possessions in their highest scoring game since 2014. One of them was set up by Prescott's first interception at the Dallas 19-yard line from Jair Alexander after he was questionable coming in when he sprained an ankle during the week. A 46-yard grab by Dubs early in the second half helped finish off the Cowboys after they had scored 10 points on either side of the break. Dubs like Musgrave and Dontavian Wicks had TD catches. Jones rushed for 118 yards, putting him over the century mark in all 4 career games against the Cowboys with 9 touchdowns. That was fun, said Green Bay coach Matt LaFleur, who took over in 2019 after McCarthy was fired during the 2018 season. To put on a performance like that, couldn't be happier for them. The crowd under the retractable roof on a frigid day in the Dallas area, had already been stone cold silence when Prescott tried to throw a slant to top receiver CeeDee Lamb. Savage, who went without an interception in the regular season for the first time in his 5-year career, stepped in front and ran untouched for a 27 to nothing lead with a minute 50 left before halftime. They were mad at me because I wasn't celebrating afterwards, Savage said. I was like, we got to keep playing, but it was definitely a momentum swing in the game, I think. Prescott finished 41 of 60 for 103 yards with all 3 of his touchdowns to tight end Jake Ferguson. So they scored late, but the Cowboys just couldn't get over that hurdle. They couldn't come back and win it. So the Packers move on to face the 49ers in their NFC divisional round next week, and that's one game that's set. We will know who the Lions will face after the Philadelphia Eagles and Tampa Bay game conclude. Last night, the Detroit Lions beat the LA Rams by 124 to 23 at Ford Field on Detroit. And Jared Goff lifted his arms in the air, encouraging Ford Field fans to get even louder before taking the final snap to his long-suffering franchise's skid in the playoffs. The crowd delivered, approaching the decibel level of a siren Golf came through too. Uh, Golf threw for a touchdown and completed a pass for a victory sealing first down against the team that cast him away, and the Detroit Lions won a playoff game for the first time in 32 years, beating Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams 24 to 23 on Sunday night. The Lions, who went 13 and 3, ended a 9-game postseason losing streak, the longest in NFL history, that dated to a victory over Dallas on January 5th, 1992. They lost a home playoff game 2 years later and had not hosted one since. And it means a whole lot to this city, Golf said. We knew what it meant when this season started to get into the playoffs. And then to get this win, and it's just the beginning for us. We've got some run left. Detroit, the NFC's number 3 seed, will have two home playoff games for the first time in franchise history, hosting either the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Philadelphia Eagles in the divisional round next Sunday. Second seeded Dallas was routed by Green Bay, as I mentioned earlier. The Rams, who finished 10-8 on the season, had a chance to take the lead late in the fourth quarter, but Detroit's defense denied them, holding a penalty rushed Los Angeles out of field goal range, and Stafford, the Lions' longtime quarterback, who won the Super Bowl after he was traded to the Rams, threw incomplete on fourth down. On the first play of the game, after a 2-minute warning, Golf hit Amon-Ra St. Brown for 11 yards, allowing the Lions to run out the clock, much to the delight of long-suffering fans who witnessed the franchise's second postseason victory, winning the 1957 NFL title. That's the best home atmosphere I've played in, and I expect next week we'll top that, Goff said, excuse me. Against the franchise he once led to the Super Bowl, Goff was 22-27 for 277 yards and threw a 2-yard touchdown pass to rookie tight end Sam Laporta that put Detroit ahead 21-10. Midway through the second quarter, the Lions acquired Goff and a pair of first-round picks for Stafford 3 years ago. Jared was really efficient. You could see the command that he was, said Rams coach Sean McVay, whose relationship with Goff soared before the trade. There's a lot made of it, but I'm really happy for him. We wanted to come away with a win, but he's done a great job. Stafford, who played most of the game with a banged and bloody hand after he slammed it into a defender's helmet, finished 25 of 36 for 367 yards with 2 touchdowns. I wouldn't want anyone else as our quarterback other than Matthew Stafford, McVay said. He was outstanding. He was gritty. He was gutsy, and he made tough throw after throw. Tough throw. Excuse me. The rush was barreling down on him, and he stood in there and was dropping dimes all day. Detroit drafted Stafford number 1 overall in 2009, and while he put up gaudy statistics, he didn't win a playoff game in his 12 seasons. Stafford hugged dozens of Detroit players after staff members after the game. I'm happy for the players, he said. I'm happy for these guys. Record-breaking rookie Puka Nacua had 9 receptions for 181 yards and a touchdown for the Rams. David Montgomery and rookie Johnny Gibbs each had a rushing TD for the Lions, and St. Brown had 7 receptions for 110 yards. After trailing by 11 points, the Rams got within 20-17, within 4 at halftime, thanks to Stafford's 50-yard touchdown pass to Nacua and his 38-yarder to Tutu Atwell. Michael Bagley's season-long 54-yard field goal, the longest of his postseason career, and tied for the longest in Detroit's playoff history, gave the Lions a 7-point lead midway through the third quarter. The Rams moved the ball at will for much of the game, but had to settle for short field goals. Brett Maher to get within 24 to 23 with 8:10 remaining. The difference in the game was the red area, McVay said. Stafford made his career fourth quarter comebacks, a fact the the fans at Ford Field were well aware of it, with a chance to put the Rams ahead for the first time. He led the drive to the Detroit 34, but the Lions defense forced him backwards from there. Detroit took over with 4:07 to go, and Los Angeles had only one timeout left after calling two earlier in the half to cope with the crowd noise. That allowed Goff to take a knee, and after his throw to St. Brown, the Lions started strong and looked fired up as their long-suffering fans with rapper and Motor City native uh, uh, and Nime in the house, along with Hall of Famers Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. When we came out for pregame warm-ups, it was already buzzing, Campbell said. The fans showered Stafford with boos when he ran onto the field. When he posed for a pregame photo with his wife and their daughters and chanted Jared Goff for the Lions quarterback. Now, going into this game, I had two things I was playing for. I was playing for my teammates and I was playing for the city. And Hutchinson, who grew up in suburban Detroit and starred at Michigan. The city has been so deserving of this for so long, and we're going to keep it up. Now, there were some injuries. Rams Stafford's right hand was taped up after it was cut in the second quarter, and he walked off the field slowly after getting hit by two Lions late in the third. He said he hurt his ribs and had on the play. Running back Kyron Williams had a hand injury in the fourth quarter. Tight end Tyler Higbee limped off the field, favoring his right leg after taking a low hit. Safety Jordan Fuller, the team's second leading tackler, was ruled out after being listed as questionable with an ankle injury. For the Lions, wide receiver and kick returner uh, Khalif Raymond, tight end James Mitchell, and quarterback Jerry Jacobs were inactive. So it's the Lions who move on, and they will face the Tampa Bay or Philadelphia once this game has concluded. And I got to give the game balls to the Lions, Golf, Montgomery, and St. Brown. They get them. And I forgot to do it for the Green Bay Dallas game, and I'm going to do it right now. Whoa. And I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to give their game balls, and they go to Love, Jones, and Dubs. So uh, we will get to the one AFC game that was today in just a moment. Right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football Super Wild Card trivia question. And it's a Buccaneers trivia question. The Bucs played in only one tie game in the 20th century. Who was it against? And if you said the Green Bay Packers, you are correct. This happened on October 12th, 1980. Kicker Tom Burney missed a 36-yard field goal attempt as time expired, ending the game in a 14-14 tie. The two teams finished the 1980 season tied for last place in the NFC Central Division at 5-10-1. So I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that, and that will be probably on Saturday for the divisional game that's being played. Then there will be a couple division games. And yesterday, I mean, right now, just a few hours ago, it just ended just a few hours ago. Uh, the Buffalo Bills uh, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, New York, to advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. This game was moved up to today because of severe weather in Buffalo the past couple of days. And Josh Allen threw 3 touchdown passes and scored on a franchise playoff record 52-yard touchdown as the Buffalo Bills beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-17 on Monday in an AFC Wild Card playoff game that was postponed a day because of a lake effect blizzard. The Highmark Stadium stands erupted with snow being tossed into the air like confetti when Allen threw a 17-yard touchdown pass to Kahali Shaker with 6:27 remaining that restored a 2 touchdown lead for Buffalo. Shaker caught the pass at the 10 over the middle and then slept, and then Minka Fitzpatrick's tackle attempt by spinning around before racing the rest of the Steelers defenders into the end zone. The second seeded Bills, who finished 12-6 on the season, who closed the regular season with 5 straight wins, advanced to host Patrick Mahomes and the number 3 seed Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round next Sunday night. And the Baltimore Ravens will host the Houston Texans. They will host the Houston Texans. That's what they will do in the other NFC games. That's why I wanted to bring you up to speed on that. We got a resilient group, the veteran leadership that we have. I really think it's unmatched in the league. Allen said of a team that was 6-6 after an overtime loss to Philadelphia on November 26th. The Bills have longed for a home playoff game against the Chiefs after their 2020 and 21 seasons ended with playoff losses at Kansas City. It's going to take a team effort, Allen said. We know the type of team that they are. Obviously, the type of quarterback they have in Patrick over there. Just thanking God that we get another chance to play another game. Allen finished 21 of 30 for 203 yards and ran for 74 yards on 8 carries, becoming the first quarterback in NFL playoff history to throw 3 or more TD passes while rushing for a 70 or more yards and to score. He didn't have a turnover for just the 4th time this season. Mason Rudolph threw 2 touchdown passes with an interception in his first playoff start for the Steelers at 10-8, but Pittsburgh was too inconsistent on either side of the ball to keep up with Allen and the Bills. The Steelers lost their 5th straight playoff game. Franchise's most recent postseason victory was exactly 7 years ago. Rudolph, a longtime backup, took over for the injured Kenny Pickett and the ineffective Mitch Trubisky to lead the Steelers to 3 straight wins to close the regular season, and was given the playoff start after Pickett recovered from an ankle injury. I am appreciative of the efforts, but it's not mystical. We didn't do what was required to win tonight. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said, nodding that 2 Steelers turnovers led to the Bills scoring 14 points. Can't come into an environment like this with a playoff caliber team and turn the ball over like that and expect to be competitive. Asked about his future in Pittsburgh after completing his 17th season of all with them, 17th season, all of them with a record of 500 or better, Tomlin smirked and walked away. Buffalo had to wait an extra day to host the Steelers after a dangerous storm that dumped more than 2 feet of snow on the region, leading the NFL to bump up the game from its scheduled Sunday afternoon start. The elements didn't play much of a factor though the temperatures were in the teens. The skies were clear and there was only a slight breeze blowing off of Lake Erie. Uh, the Steelers came out flat, allowing Buffalo to score touchdowns on three of its first five possessions and build a 21 to nothing lead on Allen's electrifying touchdown run midway through the second quarter. Rudolph went 22 of 39 for 229 yards uh, with an interception. Allen's 9-yard touchdown pass to Dawson Knox capped a 50 after 80-yard opening drive, for the Bills. After Buffalo linebacker Terrell Bernard recovered receiver George Pickens and fumble at the Pittsburgh 29. Allen threw a TD pass to Dalton Kincaid on the next play. Allen's touchdown run game after cornerback Kyer Alam, intercepted Rudolph's pass intended for Deontay Johnson in the end zone. The Steelers finally capitalized on one of the Bills' few errors in the half when Coach Sean McDermott elected to attempt a 49-yard field goal into the win with a little more than 2 minutes left. Montravius Adams blocked Tyler Bass's low kick. The ball squirted some 20 yards into the Bills' territory and was recovered by Nick Herbig at Buffalo's 33. The Steelers scored 5 plays later on Rudolph's 10-yard TD pass to Johnson. Pittsburgh eventually cut the lead to 24-17 on Rudolph's 7-yard touchdown pass to Calvin Austin with 10:32 left. But that was as close as they would get because Buffalo would score one more touchdown to seal it. Now there were some injuries. The Bills already depleted defense held up despite losing several regulars to injuries. Buffalo allowed 324 yards and limited the Steelers to converting 5 of 11 on third down opportunities. Bernard was ruled out after twisting his right ankle, and starting nickelback Taron Johnson did not return after being evaluated for a concussion. The Bills began the game without cornerback Russell Douglas, who had a knee injury, and linebacker Tyrell Dotson, and who has a shoulder injury. So the Bills will move on to host Kansas City in Buffalo next week. So the AFC divisional round is set, and we will know who the Lions will face when either Philadelphia or in the Tampa Bay game concludes. And hold on a minute, I got to give you the game balls for that one. I got to give them out right now. And they are going to the Bills. Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid. They get them. So, and right now, in that Monday night game that's being played at Lincoln Finance, that place is being played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. The Bucks are up on the Eagles 16-9 in the third quarter with it's first and with 3:41 to go. It's first and 10 at the Philly 10, and the Eagles have the ball. And it was a 4th and 10. They had the punt. Jamar Cameron punched 35 yards to Philadelphia for a catch by Covey, and that's where we stand. And the Eagles have been limited, I think, to 3 field goals, I believe. I want to take a look here. Oh, no, they did have a touchdown, but then they missed a field goal. That's what it was. A field goal, then a touchdown, and then they missed the field goal. So right now, that's where we stand. And who knows if the Eagles, hopefully, let's hope the Eagles can get over this hump, but it could come as a shock if Tampa Bay does hold on to win this. So we shall see. And right now, I want to give I took Dallas and lost on that one. I won with Detroit. I took Pittsburgh and lost on that one. And if I lose this one, I'll be 2-4. But if I win, I'll be 3-3 because I've got Philadelphia. So we shall see. We'll see what happens with this game tonight. That's just about going to wrap it up for the Sports 101. The Monday Night Football Super Wild Card. Uh, there was the early post game show, and now the Monday Night Super Wild Card update show. I'll be back with the post game show for the Monday night game once the game between the Eagles and Buccaneers has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.